Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever for a 5v5 custom game played on the Neuroxis map generator. Let's go ahead and get into player introductions with Team 1 on the left and Team 2 on the right, starting with the Maroon Cybern going first land. It is none other than the man himself. It is Cascade. Then down to his southeast, we have ourselves a Green Cybern going first land by the name of Matches. Then to the west of him, we have a dark green UEF going first air. Ooh, spicy. Maybe an early bomber coming out of this player. And his name is Kalu. Then down to the southeast, we have ourselves a pink Cybern going first land by the name of Mr. Von Steuben. Then last but not least for Team 1, a red Cybern going first land by the name of Judah X. And that's all of the players for Team 1. Let's go ahead and move on to Team 2, starting in the north and going south once again with the Orange Seraphim worst faction going first air yet again. Lots of early bomber potential out of any of these first air players. And his name is Dice. Then to the west of him, we have ourselves a neon green UEF. Really like UEF in neon green. Looks very good. And his name, of course, is Kandaker, and he has gone first land. Then moving on to the southeast with the purple Cybern going first air by the name of Daddy Chad. Should really link up with Thurnis and have a daddy collab there. Him and Daddy Chad. As we move on to the next player, and he is a wonderful friend of mine. He is a fellow caster. He is one of my contemporaries and peers, and he has recently reached 1,400 ratings, so everybody go congratulate him and check out his channel. It is none other than The Duelist. Then last but not least for the entire game, we have a pink UEF going first land by the name of Kafka. And with all of our players introduced, let's just take a quick moment to look at this map and see what kind of shenanigans we're going to get into right now. We have a little over 9,000 reclaim for these players to scoop into their coffers. That's going to be about 4,500 reclaim per team if it is split evenly. We also have an early transport already coming out from Cascade. We will look at that here in a moment, but let's talk about the map. We have a ton of mass extractors here in this middle area, and in fact around the entire map. Everywhere but the water has a lot of mexes for these players to scoop up and increase their economy, so we're going to see some very high economy play. We're also most likely going to see some heavy play around both navy and land. With this large open flat expanse of land here in the middle, we're going to see huge land fights, and with both of these navies getting so close to enemy bases, there's going to be a heavy priority on players winning their navies. Over here to the northern side of the map, we have Cascade, who has managed to get the first drop on the enemy island that has 3 kind of mexes over here well before any opposition is able to get over here. We have a transport finished up for Dice, but it seems as though he just doesn't have the engineer count to really get the transport moving the way he wants to, and now we have a couple of engineers being loaded onto that. It's going to be 2 engineers versus 2, so whoever gets the reclaim order off first is the player who wins this engagement. When you have this low engineers, this factory won't finish in time. If you go and try to build point defense or something like that, you're gonna lose if the other player starts reclaim first. That's how it works with even numbers of engineers. So we're gonna have to see exactly how that works. Come down with the engineers is this transport. It's gonna be caught out by an interceptor out from Cascade, and oh no, it's gonna be a disaster if he doesn't win this little position, and he goes for building a PD over going for reclaim, but Cascade hasn't noticed this yet. He doesn't see the 2 engineers. Whoever gets a reclaim order off first wins, and it does seem as though Cascade is gonna do it. So Cascade wins the battle for the 3 mexes on the plateau. And man, we already have an action-packed game. Everything from engineers to land units to navy units to air units, they're all going to be fighting. The transport did go down, very unfortunately for DICE. So this northern side of the map already looking to be dominated by Cascade, which is what you would expect, as he is the highest rated player in this game at 1700 rating, coming in as a titan amongst all of these round about 1,000 rated players. He is, of course, balanced out by the enemy team having the other two highest rated players in the game behind him in the Duelist and Kefka, both sitting at 1400. This game is going to be heavily determined on how well Cascade can manage his front. It's going to be all eyes on Cascade. Meanwhile, on the other team, Duelist and Kefka need to make ground and need to do well on their respective fronts if they want a chance in this game, because these higher rated players really tend to snowball out of control, especially on maps like this, where you're going to see a player like Cascade already sitting on 66 masseseconds before the 6-minute mark. It's going to be a little bit insane for these players. Right now, Reclaim, though, Duelist doing very well at 1.2 thousand. And of course, we have behind him over 1,000 is Kalu and Matches. So right now, those are the three best players on Reclaim. Overall economies, Duelist is battling with Cascade for that #1 position, and Duelist is doing very well on an expansion. You can see him just taking over the middle of the map right here, and Cascade not quite able to get the same kind of rounds, even though they aren't necessarily mirror balance. The mirror balance for Duelist is, of course, Matches over here. Matches not quite able to expand quite as quickly as his contemporary, but we will have to see exactly how these players get on. Down here to the south, it seems there was a drop attempt over here out from Judah X, but he wasn't able to make it happen due to the bombers coming out from Kefka. Kefka getting a lot of early value out of these. We had that one sitting on 3 kills, this one sitting on 1 kill, or maybe it was 4 kills on that, not sure. But of course, now we have a drop, and now it's a very weird situation, as both of these plateaus that really rightfully should be handed over to the enemy team have gone the opposite way. So right now we're seeing Kefka set himself up quite well. Meanwhile, up here to the north, we have a Medusa drop coming out from Cascade. Both Kefka and Cascade playing very aggressively. I would say Cascade is getting a little bit more. Some T1 bombers coming out from DICE, gonna shut down most of the Medusa, but the Medusa do manage to shut down 3 mechs worth of expansion. This last one, maybe it can dodge, maybe it can get a scalp onto the last and 4th mechs, but nope, not gonna get it. Just gonna get a little bit of damage. In fact, it missed both shots, so not even gonna get damage. Very sad moment. But over here to the north, some interceptors coming out from Cascade, going to be able to shoot down those bombers, as there's really not much here to contest them. And I don't know where the transport went. Maybe the transport went down somewhere around here, but I don't think it did. So that transport's most likely kicking around somewhere around here out from Cascade. We'll have to try and see if he gets any more drops going on. We have our first little land engagement coming out from Duelist. He's going to be fighting Mr. von Steuben. And Mr. von Steuben is not going to get too much done there. He's just going to lose most of his land forces. Is going for T2 on that commander. Stealth now on the way for Duelist after he finishes up gun speed and range. Gun speed and range now on the way for Cascade. Does not have stealth yet, so he's going to be a little bit disparagingly not quite as far along as Duelist is on the upgrade front, but he is doing a lot better on the mass front at 94 mass a second versus the 75 coming out from Duelist. Duelist already thrown up some T2 mechs, as is Cascade, and both of these players getting a lot of economy very early on. We also are seeing the development of Naval supremacy up here in the north. Seems as though Cascade is just going to be able to grab it. There are some submarines that are dissuading him from continuing to attack for a little bit, but as soon as he gets his own submarines, he should be good. Already going for T2 Navy is Cascade. Meanwhile, in the southern pond, we see a lot of naval focus coming out from Kefka. Kefka throwing pretty much everything at it, and we do see a bit of a change in how these players are splitting up the map. The Duelist is really taking on a lot more mechs than Kefka, while Cascade is just taking on pretty much this entire top half of the map for his team. He says, okay, all of you fight the middle and bottom half, and I'll fight the entire top half by myself. Meanwhile, Kefka and Duelist deciding to divvy up the mechs differently and get themselves different roles going on. Kefka just focusing on Navy and Duelist just focusing on land. And that's going to be that for now. Cascade is fighting on both fronts. Meanwhile, here in the middle, we have a little bit of fighting going on between the two green players. We have Candaker and Matches going up against each other. Daddy Chad trying to help get another upgrade onto Candaker, which is going to be T2. Matches has gun, speed, and range as well as stealth, but has lost a lot of HP in fighting right here as T2 has already been finished up by Candaker, who is just throwing out pillars. You gotta love to see those pillars. Meanwhile, down here in the south, Duelist getting very aggressive with his stealth, gun range, and speed comm, along with a very, very significant contingent of T1 units. As he pushes in, we're gonna see some reinforcements starting to come out from Kalu, but of course, Steuben and Kalu are gonna be fighting this fight against the Duelists by themselves. There's really not much here to help. Matches is preoccupied with the northern side of the map, so is Cascade, and Duelist is really gaining some ground, but needs to be careful that he's not just resulting in a mass dump right here. He is getting a lot of value out of that commander already reaching up towards that first rank of veterancy. Kalu also about to reach that first rank of veterancy. T2 has been finished up for Steuben, so he has a little bit of an HP buffer that he can use and abuse to get some more kills onto these T1 land units. And Kalu and Steuben are going to be fighting up against the Duelist, who is just constantly skirmishing over here. Down here to the south, these three mechs that were originally taken over by Kefka are going to be shut down by a cruiser coming out from Mr. von Steuben. The two pink players being against each other and so close is very confusing. Meanwhile, Cascade's economy has just exploded. 150 mass just at the 11-minute mark. The man is gonna be rich. He's managed to shut down one of the naval factories over here in the north of DICE, who is just building a bunch of submarines, but those submarines are gonna be countered very easily by this Salem-class destroyer coming out from Cascade. Meanwhile, on the southern Navy front, it's relatively even, except for the fact that Kefka just has a bunch of T1 Navy, and we're seeing T2 Navy coming out already from Mr. von Steuben, but he needs to throw a little bit more into this if he wants any chance of success. And honestly, he's just fighting a very difficult battle. There's a lot of mass now invested by Kefka into Navy, and he's having to invest in both Navy and land. It's really going to be difficult for him. And up here to the north, all of these submarines are momentarily buying a lot of breathing room for DICE, who's going for T3 air, it would seem. Is already getting up the T2 engineers, going to build up the T2 pigeons. And as we have a moment to breathe, I would like to remind you all to hit the subscribe button, to hit the like button, and to stay hydrated. Hitting the like and subscribe button, they're free. You can turn that subscribe button from red to gray, which is a beautiful color, as opposed to red. The subscribe button just looks so gaudy when it's red. It's so horrible. But the other good color you can do is you can change that like button from a gray, which is a nice color, to a blue, which is a much superior color to gray. Now, of course, the last message I had for you was stay hydrated. Drink yourself some water. It's very important. I'm going to go ahead and do some myself. Do some water like a gangster or something. I don't know. Y'all are beautiful. Only true G's. Only true gangsters really drink water, yo. As over here to the north, we have a bunch of Salems now starting to come on land to support the Mantis attack force from Cascade. Cascade really trying to put on the pressure with his Salems, but I'm really confused. Does Cascade know about this other naval factory? He does. He just doesn't feel it necessary to send the Salems around this side. I would love to hear the reasoning, because if you send the Salems in up here to the north, you can get real economic damage done. Meanwhile, here in the middle, all you're really achieving is killing off some land units that'll just be replaced here in a minute or two, and you can come around this back edge and really just remove the ability for them to replace those units, in my opinion. Maybe he's just trying to get a temporary win so he doesn't lose his foothold here. I guess that could be it. Doesn't want to lose these mechs either. But I'm very curious as to the reasoning. If you're watching this, Cascade, answers in the comments, please. As over here to the east, we do have the Duelist starting to be pushed back by combined forces of players like Matches and Kalu, as well as von Steuben. having themselves a good time. Duelist fighting a 3-on-1 war, but he has the economy for it, sitting at 142 mass a second. He is really on a strong economy. Only player stronger than him right now is Cascade, who is already over 200 mass a second. Man, that is massive. Duelist needs to pull his comm back out of the water, though, just for a moment to start killing off some of these units, maybe even get a little bit more veterancy, as a few of the naval units out from Kefka gonna show up to try and help deal with all of these various land units coming out, mostly here from Steuben, but we also have some from Matches sitting up there slightly to the west. I think that's just a frigate. Yet again, would love to see this massive destroyer force and all of these frigates just go in on the northern side, as he has secured himself as far as this front is concerned. T3 air is not yet on the way for DICE. I'm wondering what his plan is as he starts to move out with a bunch of submarines. He's really starting to poke the bear. Cascade, as soon as he notices this, is gonna send all of his destroyers in. And I believe, yep, there is the move order for the destroyers. Meanwhile, on the southern side, we do have, of course, Navy building up. We have a lot of T3 engineers now coming out from Kalu. What is he planning to do down here in the south? I didn't mean to rhyme there, but hey, I'm a rapper. As Duelist has just completely skipped the T2 phase of the game, which he can afford to do, sitting on 154 mass a second. He's gone straight to T3. He's starting to spam out Loyalists, which is going to be very dangerous to the forces out from Matches. Has Matches even started going T3? No, he has not. We don't have T3 on the way out from any of these players. We have T3 Air finished up already for Judah X, but we also have T3 Air finished up now for Daddy Chad. So Duelist going to be sitting on a very strong tech advantage, but he is struggling to get struggling with the reclaim wars right now, as a lot of engineers coming out from Kalu and Matches pushing forward and reclaiming after fights. Although he is doing very well in reclaim himself, up to 6.7 thousand, the most in the game. Now Cascade doing very well for himself as well at 270 mass a second. That is over 100 to his that's 100 mass over his closest competitor, which is the Duelist at 171. Cascade is going to be sitting on a massive economy as he's pushing in the north. Meanwhile, in the south, both Duelist and Kefka looking very strong. Would be surprised if Kefka doesn't start pushing with his navy very soon. Has a Neptune already online. Duelist deciding to fall back, doesn't want to continue to use the commander, feeling that 17 minutes is just a little bit too long to have the commander out and on the field, especially with Cybran, who don't really get extreme combat prowess or large amounts of HP. As DICE is now up here, he's just getting pummeled by the naval forces out from Cascade. Cascade could maybe even just consider killing DICE at this point. And down to the south, we have a large Loyalist force now conglomerating for the Duelist, already up to nearly 20 Loyalists. He's almost has as many Loyalists as his opponents just have land units in general. And now there's an attempt to firebase coming out from Kalu and Matches. Matches has already started running away, but Kalu might be caught out. Kalu might be cut down in his prime. He has T3 Air. This match is, in fact, share until death. It's not full share. So if Kalu goes down, everything goes down with him, and he is going to, as his HP starts to falter, going down to 5,000, 4,000, 3,000. Oh, 2,500. The Loyalists stop firing at him. The Loyalists are going to fire at him again, down to 1,000. He's dead! And that's going to be our first player ejection at 18 minutes and 17 seconds. As Kalu goes down, his base is going to go into flames. Critically, though, this base is in the back line, and we could see Cascade do a very, very quick grabbing of all of these mexes. He has some T2 engineers in the area. Would love to see them just divvied up to grab up all of the mexes. He is the player who is most likely to make good use of that territory. Gonna have to see what he does. Also has a bunch of T3 engineers, just has a lot of build power. Monkey Lord now on the way for Cascade, who is sitting on 356 mass a second. The man is ecoing out of his mind, and now the Duelist is doing so as well, already up to 200 mass a second. Kefka at 154. Kefka taking a beautiful naval engagement down here to the south. All of these naval units, these Ushavos, all of these destroyers out from Mr. von Steuben, they're going underwater to try and avoid the overwhelming surface-to-surface firepower coming out of this navy from Kefka. But Kefka just needs to push in, kill off that T2 naval HQ, and then spam out some Coopers, and it's over. Or even go for something like some torpedo bombers is a very good option. Or he could just very slowly fight a destroyer v destroyer torpedo war, which seems to be what he's opting for at the moment, as the Bulwark Shield boat is managing to eat up quite a little bit of this torpedo damage coming out from these Seraphim units. This destroyer very unluckily not gonna be submerged, which means it's gonna be dead. And now the absolute reckoning that is going to happen to the naval production out here for Mr. von Steuben is going to happen, as well as loyalists making their way in towards the base of Steuben, and Steuben just decides to control K. He's given up. So these loyalists now going to be able to be sent northwards to fight off and kill off some of this economy coming out from matches. And the naval danger over here on the southern pond is starting to rear its ugly head. Meanwhile, on the northern side, we had a lot of destroyers that were fighting over here, but the destroyers have decided to change tact. They're gonna make their way out into land. Wait, no, these aren't the destroyers. Did all of the destroyers die? Oh my lord, that's a lot of dead destroyers, isn't it? Ah, that's unfortunate. Yep, there's dead destroyers all over the place. Alright. Cascade has finished up his Monkey Lord, which is going to be a very scary sight indeed. And Kefka is going to be able to come down here sitting pretty. Unfortunately for these harms, the terrain is really not helping them. Most of their torpedoes just hitting land. And now we're going to see that proliferation of siege naval units coming out from Kefka. It's what always happens in these kinds of situations. You're gonna see a ton of governors start being thrown up. It's also gonna have a knock-on effect of allowing all of the southern naval area to just be a no-fly zone for the northern team. These loyalists in the background, 22 kills, 3,200 mass killed. Duelist had some hero loyalists. And he's about to have a whole bunch more as he pushes yet again in the south, but there's a Monkey Lord that could be dangerous, as Daddy Chad is going for laser and has finished it, and now he's going for teleporter. He's going for telemazer. He wants to be able to snipe somebody off. Cascade versus the world. He's rebuilding this area formerly belonging to Kalu, but now he has a very tough set of situations on his hands. But he has managed to eco so well that despite losing 2 entire players worth of economy, his team is only down a little bit of mass generation. Cascade sitting he's nearing up towards 500 mass a second, and it won't take him long to get there if he just keeps upgrading all these mexes he's building to the south. But needs to be careful, needs to make sure this Monkey Lord is on point and killing off all of these loyalists. The loyalists are very fast, can run away from the Monkey Lord, but if he can just manage to kill off this band right here, he should be able to shore up his defenses, maybe even build up some static ones to just try and help him. In fact, there's a bunch of static defenses now going up for Judah X. As matches here in the middle, he's getting a lot of assistance out from these Salems. A bunch of Salems gonna move with this Monkey Lord, it would seem. Although I'm not sure the Monkey Lord will be able to get too much done. Monkey Lord now out for Duelist, going to be trying to siege maybe this northern position for Cascade, or just move in towards Match's base. Going to be interesting to see. Duelist asking for an attack, please, out from his allies. Very kind, very genuine out from him. Kandaker, seeing the teamwork, is like, will do. He only has T2 units and T1 units, but hey, anything not shooting at that Monkey Lord is going to be huge, and that Monkey Lord will be able to be assisted by this large loyalist force, which can come right in behind it. This Monkey Lord's going to kick down the door, and the floodgates are going to open, and Duelist is planning to just go in with a massive wave of T3 assault bots. And we'll have to see exactly how that goes. Would like to see Duelists start switching away from Loyalists, though. Would love to see a brick switch here soon. Loyalists are strong and all, but bricks are going to be what's going to win you this game. I don't think Loyalists have enough punch here with the Monkey Lord v Monkey Lord action, along with all of these Salems providing such long-range support. There's so many Salems on the map right now, just going to be able to help. 13 Salems just are all around, just going to be firing and putting down a lot of DPS. The Monkey Lords are about to converge on each other, and they're going to make sweet, sweet love with their Monkey Lord microwave lasers. And down comes the pain. The first Monkey Lord to fire is going to be the one out from Cascade. Will it be enough just firing first to kill off the Monkey Lord of Duelists? It will. And now in comes the Loyalists to finish off the Monkey Lord of Cascade. Will they be able to manage it? It doesn't seem as though, because the Monkey Lord gets a rank of veterancy, and along with all of the Salem fire, that attack wasn't an attack, it was a mass donation and matches. And of course Cascade will eat that up like freaking Oreos. I don't know, I like Oreos, okay? Shut up! If you don't like Oreos, are you even human? And after that beautiful fight there in the middle, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more, but that really hurts the momentum of the Eastern team, which is just barely behind economically now, as Cascade has just managed to set up the economy of all economies, already up to 620 mass a second, 25 minutes in. Crazy how well he's ecoed. And now down to the south, that's a lot of reclaim. Speaking of reclaim, we're looking at Cascade with 44,000 reclaim. The closest to him is matches his ally at 19,000. The reclaim game is 82,000 versus 54,000. Daddy Chad getting a lot of reclaim from somewhere. He does have teleporter on the way, but it's paused at 15 to 20%. And now some of this economy down here to the south for Judah X is starting to get sieged, starting to get knocked down. I'm really surprised we haven't seen more governors out of Kefka. I'm wondering what Kefka is doing with all of that economy. He's the third largest economy in the game behind Duelist and Cascade. And Duelist is looking very scared right here with this Monkey Lord. It's got 16,000 HP with the bricks, with the Salems. This land attack is looking dangerous, as a large air fight now kicking off. A bunch of interceptors and some ASF now going to show up for Duelists, but it seems as though Daddy Chad is going to just lose this air fight. He is going to be able to walk away with most of his ASF if he so pleases, and is going to get a very nice trade onto the ASF out from Judah, getting a huge turn. Oh my lord, that was dirty! As Cascade pulls out, Daddy Chad just comes in with the Chad hero play and really knocks down a ton of the ASF coming out from Judah X. And now Cascade is going to come in with his own ASF, but he's going to fly into a bunch of SAMs and a bunch of AA, and now the air fight's going to take place over the base of Team 2. And Team 2 just really won air when they had no right to do so. They were so far behind in sheer numbers. A huge blunder coming out from Cascade and Judah X there. Although it's not going to be too significant. Judah will be able to keep up in air. It's not like complete air dominance or anything. But it is very, very unfortunate for the Western team that happened, because they could have had air control. Meanwhile, here in the middle, Cascade just pushing forward has so many Salems. So many Salems just chilling right here. 12 Salems. Needs to be careful that the Salems don't get too close to this brick loyalist force. He needs to make sure the bricks and loyalists only meet up against the Monkey Lord. As SMD is now finished up, I wonder if he's scouted something that's caused him to go for that. Is there a nuke? There very well could be. I most likely would miss it. Is this a nuke? Nope, that's an anti-nuke. I don't know if there's a nuke or not, but hey. As here in the middle, a megalith finished up for Duelist, but unfortunately for the Duelist, these Salems are a masterful play. And damn! He kills off the Monkey Lord, but he's gonna lose the Megalith just to these Salems. That is hilarious to me, that these Salems have been so damn effective. I mean, they're not getting much veterancy, but they're so good. They're just walking T2 artillery, it feels like. And now Matches is showing up to try and protect the Salems. We also have all these Whalers coming out from, of course, Cascade. But the question is, how do they address the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is Cascade's economy. He's nearing 1,000 mass a second, and he's getting closer every second as he's building Ras Boys now. What is Team 2 to do against such overwhelming economy from Team 1? I mean, Cascade is managing to out-eco all of the enemy team, it feels. Another huge air fight now about to ensue. Daddy Chad is fighting it out over here. Do we see any ASF out from Duelist? No, it seems as though he lost his own ASF there. We're good. I have sea control. The sea control ain't really helping you very much, as Duelist has really lost a lot of territory. He's been knocked down. He was over, or I think he was over 300 mass a second, but he's lost so many of these frontline mexes that he's just unable to continue to keep up or try and match the economy of Cascade. This Monkey Lord is just walking in, and it doesn't seem like there's nearly enough to kill it off. A bunch of Cerberus going to be thrown up, a couple of bricks still kicking around, more bricks coming out of the factory every second, but he's really got to hope that he gets enough bricks out on to the field to kill this off, and he does. As another Megalith has been started up. Gonna need many Megaliths if he wants to fight this off. Although the overall Salem attack has stopped working. We also have a lot of Navy now being built up here in the north by Daddy Chad, who seemingly wants to shut down the naval ambition of Cascade. He's already up to T3 Navy. Wonder what he's gonna build out of that. We also have T3 Navy finished up for Dice, who's starting to build up battleships up here. And down to the south, we have a bit of a catastrophe going on for Team 2. That's a lot of torpedo bombers coming out from Cascade, and there's just, it seems as though air is in the hands of Team 1. Although in comes Daddy Chad to shut down all of these torpedo bombers, which are killing off summits. Kefka having some struggles. Needs a lot more cruisers, I feel. Although he could be working on something else. I guess he's working on air units and a Stone Ager. As Megalith yet again on the way for Duelist, but Duelist is fighting against honestly unassailable odds, it would feel. We have a telemaser snipe onto Matches. It says Control K, but I see War Daddy's commander in there. War Daddy's commander, will it be able to get out? There it is. It's taking some damage from the point defense, but Matches just was unable to deal with that. And now that changes everything. I was saying it's unassailable odds for Duelist because of all of the bricks coming out from Matches, and Matches was on almost the same economy as Duelist. But now Duelist just gets to focus his land efforts against Cascade, which is no small task, but it is a task that you can go against. And now Daddy Chad really living up to his name. 25,000 mass killed and a commander scalp to boot. Judah X now going for telemaser of his own. I don't think it'll be quite as effective as the one that we just saw out from Daddy Chad, and now it's really Cascade versus the world, and Team 1 for the first time in a while feels like they're behind economically, but their economy is laser focused into one player's hands. Gonna have to see what you can do with that. He's gonna start throwing up more and more T3 land factories. He wants to win land. And he's still not really addressing the fact that his opponents have T3 Navy. He should know about it. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. They haven't been able to scout this northern pond. He doesn't understand what's about to go on. He still hasn't seen the battleships. Oh no! It's a disaster territory right now for Cascade, because Intel is really going to bite him in the ass here soon. Duelist running away with everything he has from this airfight, but Daddy Chad going to come in to save the day. Actually, this may just be a really bad airfight for Daddy Chad. Daddy Chad's been winning airfights he has no right to win for a while, it feels. And in comes the airfight. Cascade has so much to manage that he's not really microing the ASF. He's trying to do everything at once. He's doing torpedo bomber attacks while in the middle of an airfight in the middle of the map, while also microing land and dealing with the Navy to the north. And here soon, Cascade will be able to see all that's going on in this northern Navy. He's going to start building Myrmidons up here, but he needs to be worried about all of these frigates. Even just the frigates are starting to become an issue. Needs to restart production on his Navy, or just get a bunch of Salems and stop sending them on land for a bit. And Dice, seemingly having trouble getting his battleships out of this little kind of area. Huh. He didn't think that one through. He's going to start building his battleships over here. A good call would be to try and control K these battleships and reclaim them. As over here to the west, the navies are starting to encroach on Judah X, who is, I think, still working on Teleporter. Yep, that is what he's working on. Kefka has been relatively quiet. He's getting some naval damage done down here, and he's, of course, denying all of this Navy, but I haven't seen him really participate in too much recently. Would love to see him going for something. He does, of course, have hives now going up. He has that Stone Ager. But we're getting into that stage of the game where you have to start thinking about standoff technologies. Although here in the middle, it's nothing but Salems and bricks and megaliths, oh my. As Duelist starts walking forward with another megalith. Needs to focus down those Salems if he doesn't want it to meet the fate of the last one he had. It does seem to be that's what he is doing. Also will be very good for getting veterancy up onto that megalith. Already up to 11,000 mass killed. Gonna be up to 18,000 very quickly. And gonna get that first rank of veterancy very soon. Just one or two more kills and he'll have it. And there we go. First rank of veterancy for the Salem. Or for the megalith against the Salems. And now we have Yathsaus coming out from Dice to try and help with naval supremacy up here. And we have megaliths now starting to come out from Cascade. Just an absolute slog of a land battle. We also have air battles periodically taking place. Duelist keeps losing all of his air force, but then War Daddy comes in and kind of trades back just enough to make Cascade think twice about going full in on air. But Cascade finally gets a decisive air win, shuts down all of War Daddy's ASF, but there's already so many rebuilt already. He's building ASF so quick. As meanwhile, a megalith of duelists being assailed by a bunch of whalers. They're gonna get shot down by the SAMs of duelist eventually. Also a huge air fight, and now Cascade has been completely wiped off the map as he fought over a bunch of SAMs. They're just trading air control. Nobody's really able to get up to like those insane numbers of ASF in this game. Despite the massive economies, we're not seeing anybody hit like 100, 200, 300 ASF, which is really nice. Keeps the sim speed nice and steady, nice and high. As up here to the north, it's just mass Salem trying to fight off against a bunch of T3 units now. The Yathsau's gonna lose at least mass for mass against the destroyers. They have to use that range advantage, otherwise they're quite badass, honestly. As we have double Megalith finished up for Duelist, one of which is very low, but if he can micro it and get most of the damage going on to the high health one, he could just wait for that veterancy regeneration to help him out. Oh, Million Sams. Your Chad AA is landed in mid. As Cascade is really taken over half of this map, and he is almost matching all of the economy of the enemy 5 players. Really putting on a showstopper here for us today. As Cascade desperately needs to maybe take out one of these players. Maybe going for a snipe is a good idea. Strat bomber snipe could be huge. This isn't going to win the game. Daddy Chad talking about the Navy. Although all of these cruisers very well could be a very good contributing factor. Strategic launch detected coming out from Kafka. Where's that going? As over here to the north, Judah X goes in for a telemazer and gets a kill on 2. Candaker. You have to be kidding me. We just saw a telemazer snipe and Candaker didn't prepare. He was unprepared. He didn't use protection. As a nuke is gonna come down and kill off Judah X's remaining base. Judah X probably doesn't mind too much. There's probably enough overflow for him to continue teleporting around. And that's kind of the play he wants to go for. Could go for things like this, killing off Kefka's T2 mexes over there. That nuke does land, kill off everything but a T3 Pigeon. And now it truly is Cascade versus the world. But Cascade is not... I mean, if you're a betting man, Cascade is still a decent bet to take. Cascade's sending some power generators over to Judah, trying to encourage the continued telemazer usage. And one big one is if Dice gets onto land, that could be a huge boon. That would be a huge play. As Dice is trying to build a Yelona Os while sitting on 283 mass a second isn't unreasonable to build a Yelona Os. Take a while. Kefka, perhaps there's enough Navy in the South Sea. You can never have too much Navy. Very good denial force. Also, what else is he gonna do? He's gonna start getting involved in the land battles. It's honestly time for some standoff technology out of these players. Megalith being built at rapid pace down here to the south. As Cascade has the economic advantage. Are you kidding me? Cascade by himself, because there's only 1 mass a second for Judah, has the economic advantage. These 3 harms have gotten 4 kills between them, and they have also caused irreparable damage to the seafloor. The constant land battles here in the middle between Duelist and Cascade. It's just this non-stop battle between bricks. And now there's going to be a huge battle with a bunch of megaliths. Did Duelist Control K this? I think Duelist Control K'd this to try and get Reclaim. To build another one. Interesting. Speaking of Reclaim, Cascade at 225,000, Duelist at 112,000. Overall, Team 1 is ahead on that. As a huge air fight takes place in Cascade, despite kind of just fighting over a bunch of SAMs and cruisers, wins the air fight. And now there's a bunch of strap bombers out from Cascade. He's gonna go for a snipe onto somebody, but who is the question. Judah has managed to regenerate all the way back to full HP, but I think he might just be AFK. Because he's not teleported again. And he's not really typed in chat, I don't think. As we're 44 minutes in and we're not sure who's going to win this 1v4. As a bunch of strap bombers are going to end up being shot down by Daddy Chad, but Daddy Chad's going to lose all of his ASF for it. Kefka has a kill to loss ratio of 6.37. The man has killed a lot of stuff without losing anything. Apparently. I mean, all of his navy has killed like 1,000 mass worth of stuff and none of it's dead, it feels. 17,000 mass killed by this summit. There's a clear sniping path, at least after you telly that guy. I'm not sure if sniping is going to be even an option for the Eastern team, as they have their only real player is getting cloaking. Also, Judah just teleported. I don't know where. Oh, Judah just teleported into this back base, and he's killing off Daddy Chad's entire air grid. Oh no, it's a disaster! Judah with a huge play. YOLO on the way for dice, but I don't think it's going to get too far. At least not anytime soon. Nuke lands. It was an edge nuke. Didn't really achieve too much. Cascade has the base of all bases. This is like shit you see in a trailer. Like, look at this. This base is the base you see out of a trailer, isn't it? Tell me I'm wrong. As we have a huge land fight taking place here in the middle, Megalith for Duelist goes down. And the Megaliths out from Cascade now seemingly going to have free reign to just push in towards the base of Duelist, who may just not have an answer. This might be where Duelist's base finally falls. It's been this stalwart defense for Team 2 the entire game. But it seems as though Cascade has finally found the nut cracker to crack this nut. And the Duelist is just, he's very sad. He's sending a bunch of mass over to Dice to help build the YOLO. He knows that he's gonna be done for here soon. He has a nuke launcher that's about halfway done, but these crabs, they are vengeful. And they are angry as they march ever forwards into the base of the Duelist. There's some battleships over here trying to deal enough damage to kill off the crabs, but the crabs just need to keep moving. And also, all the damage being focused on the crabs doesn't mean much when there's a bunch of bricks, which have much higher DPS, and are throwing out a lot of damage right now. 2K Eco can't be stopped. He is almost at 2K Eco, in fact. And it's starting to look really desperate here for the Eastern team. They seemed like they had Cascade and his team on the ropes. It seemed like this side of the map was just gonna fully capitulate with all of those deaths on the southern side, but it didn't happen. Cascade managed to hold in there and hold off against the odds. And now Cascade is marching to victory, it would seem, getting in, killing off one of his biggest pains in the neck, which is, of course, the Duelist, who is now the second poorest player in the game with a cool 230 mass a second. And Duelist has just been obliterated off the map, all but destroyed and assassinated. Meanwhile, here in the north, mass Yassaus and lots of battleships are going to start coming in, and there's just really nothing up here to stop them. What is Cascade's plan to deal with this? That's 5 battleships, a bunch of Yassaus. What's he going to do, Cascade? I guess he has to rely on air, which he can now that he just has full air control. And in comes a bunch of strat bombers. Looks as though he's trying to snipe the ACU of Daddy Chad. Some SCUs die in the middle. But Daddy Chad is teleporting away. Not sure where. Somewhere down here to the south. Yeah, he's down in the south, but what is he gonna be able to do? He's in a very awkward position. Yelona Os all the way up to 61% now. Mass torpedo bomber now being used to try and deal with this northern navy. Out from Cascade. I'm gonna go ahead and take a drink. Make sure you stay hydrated, everybody. As we slog on, and down here to the south, true to his word, Kefka has really invested heavily into land and is trying to come in. If he can kill off a bunch of T3 mexes, that would be quite big, in fact. It may not seem it, but every little bit of economic damage does matter here. But unfortunately, Titans don't fare well against a megalith, or bricks for that matter. So this massive investment into land, I'd be surprised if we didn't just see Cascade come down and wipe out this base. Because that's something he probably doesn't really want to deal with. Although I don't know if he can, with all of the battleships and Neptunes in the area. Might be difficult. Meanwhile, he's continuing to push here in the middle. We also have Monkey Lords being produced very rapidly by Kefka to try and protect this side of the map, but with megaliths and bricks pushing in, there's really nothing over here for War Daddy to stop this. With Cascade having full air control, you have to wonder, what is Team 2 to do? They just seem completely outclassed all of a sudden. They were doing so well, they were really winning for a large portion of the game. And down goes Judah X. But was that also dice going down? Judah X teleports in and dies. He gets the Yelona, which is almost done. But he dies for it. Fuck. Did he get it? Yeah, he got it. Now, you're going to need a lot more build power than that to complete that YOLO. But over here to the north, we have something strange. We have a bunch of Plan Bs now built up by War Daddy. It seems as though he might want to try and use those in an aggressive nature here soon. Would also not be surprised to see a bunch of these battleships building nukes. Kefka's built yet another Monkey Lord. And Duelist is back on land, trying to get themselves set up again. Almost 500, nearing 500,000 mass reclaimed is a lot. I'm surprised Cascade doesn't have a game ender already finished. But Cascade is determined to win this with land, sea, and air. But it's not working, it would seem. That's a nuke launcher, which is about to have a nuke loaded. And he's building mass fabs along with boys and megalith. Oh, there is a Scathis on the way right here. 6,500 mass and counting, or HP and counting. As over here to the east, we now have Salem's being used on land again, but this time it's out from Daddy Chad. He is like, hey, that seemed to really work for this Cascade fellow. I guess I'll try it out too. I love to see it. You love to see it. This base down here that was built up by Kefka has been under siege for a bit now, but the megalith is about to die, and the bricks really aren't getting too much done here. They really pushed and tried, but that just left a bunch of mass right here for Kefka to reclaim. How come when you zoom in too much, it goes to 0? Whatever, 40,000 mass in that general area. And Cascade starting to look a little bit thin on the ground, but just has overwhelming air control. A bit of an air fight breaking out over here to the north. But Cascade's just going to win it. He has more air. And more stuff counters less stuff, or more shit counters less shit. Don't know why I did the PG version. I guess I'm still in that mode of operation I was in the other day when I was casting with Andrani, trying to avoid cursing on the FAF livestream. Strategic launch detected out from Kefka. And he is going to be throwing that nuke, I would guess, over here towards this base. Another strategic launch detected, this time coming out from Cascade. Where is it going to land? It's going to go down south. I think it's going for this little base right here. That's going to be... Oh, wait, no, it's going for all of the Navy over here to the middle. It wants to kill off all these cruisers. The air fight recently just now for War Daddy and... or for Daddy Chad and for Cascade went really poorly for Cascade. He had so many more ASFs just a moment ago, but now he's fighting multiple players with concerted efforts to have their ASFs win the fight. Does have the Scathis complete, about to fire its first round of shells, and those first rounds are gonna head south. Somehow, though, despite everything, Cascade wins the air fight as he's fighting off Novaxes to the north. Duelist trying to get reestablished still. He was set so far behind. It's so weird when having 206 mass a second is poor. Where is Scathis? I mean, there's only really one place it could be. It's in the main base. The shield is being assisted by a bunch of RAS SCUs, so these Novaxes aren't going to be able to break through anytime soon. And Kefka now has 4 Novaxes online, trying his damnedest to shut down this Scathis before it gets any real damage done. Scathis shells now landing on the base of Kefka. Kefka gonna need to be careful here. Loses a shield and a bunch of T3 engineers. That's painful. As the Yelona Os is yet again building, it was so much closer to being done not so long ago. Strategic launch detected, this time out of Kefka, trying to launch before he loses it. Use it before you lose it. Novaxes and nukes now under threat of just dying outright. Monkey Lords in the middle starting to move out. Make sure to hydrate, everybody. And over here to the north, a bunch of Galaxy-class battleships. They're just going to tank the harms and push in. I wonder what the reasoning here is out from Daddy Chad just deciding that he's kind of done with it. He has a bunch of nuke subs loaded with nukes. 4, in fact. Oh, no, he doesn't know. If you have 5, he can manage it. Where are these nukes going? Does seem like they're going for the base, but what exactly do they want to kill? Attack with that or give it to me? Oh! Duelist just got the entire navy up here to the north, and the nukes are coming in, and there's no anti-nuke! Oh, he could have spread the nukes out! Oh no, it's a disaster! The screen is white. It's a curtain to block us from seeing the absolute sadness that's about to show itself on screen. Dice gives him the navy as Daddy Chad makes yet another Chad play. So you want to see something funny? Let's look at these nuke subs. This one's killed 233,000 mass. 19,000, 4,000, 1,000. This one was the only one that mattered. But hot damn, was it a big explosion. Oh, that's a line of anti-nukes. Fun. As megaliths... Man, there's just so much fighting happening everywhere on the map. It's hard to keep track of all of it. Duelists deciding to just whole hog it. Please tell me Duelist has taken my advice. No, Duelist didn't do it. So when you have Yathsaus, the best thing to do is double click them, hold Alt, right click. It's like the easiest way in the world to win a lot of Navy stuff, because if you just send everything else in ahead of them, they have so much range that they'll just start destroying stuff. Although I guess it doesn't matter. As long as he doesn't just waltz them into these harms, he should be alright. But now Duelist is attacking with his overwhelming force of naval units, and I'm really not sure how Cascade's going to deal with this. He doesn't really have the air control to just brute force the way he did last time. He's going to need a lot of ASF if he wants to be able to use torp bombers against this. And Cascade, after looking so strong, after getting so much done, now looks to be on the back foot, as he's been hemmed into this very small base. He still has the Scathis. He's still wrecking the base of Kefka. And he still has overwhelming economy. So it's not over. But it's starting to look very difficult for him to just win this. The Salem's out over here for Daddy Chad, just making their way forward. Beautiful. These nuke subs, how close are they to loading their next nuke? Oh, they're about to load their next nuke. Wow. I don't think they'll be quite as successful because all of these anti-nukes now are loaded, it would seem. The air underwater doesn't work that way. What are they talking about? Get them in TAC missile range? Oh no, you can still TAC missile harms, just so you know. You can TAC missile harms with ground fire. It does work. Also, you can just ground fire them with battleships. That's one of the biggest ways to deal with harms. Like, it's the same thing where they used to ground fire Yathsaus when Yathsaus weren't nerfed into the ground. Nice job with the Navy duel. I mean, you all have been sitting on this Navy for so long, Dice. You could have just... It was as simple as walk forward with all of it. All of it at once. Or, I guess, sail forward. But I get it. You can be timid. Cascade's been a friggin' monster this game. 4 nukes incoming. I think they're all going to get shot down. 1, 2... Whoa! The anti-nuke missed! Oh, no! Okay, it does manage it. Oh, that anti-nuke scared me. That was nail-biting action. 3 Monkey Lords and a large UEF force walk into a Cybran base. Somebody finish that joke for me. game is so beautiful. You don't get sights like that in like any other game. Like Planetary Annihilation, even Bar. Like Bar has like some amazing sights and is very beautiful. You just don't get what you just got right there with Bar still. Such a unique feeling. It's great. As mass harm is being employed to try and stop the cruiser fire and kill off all the battleships. That's a lot of T1 bombers coming in to kill off all of these Percivals. It'll work too, but the Percival's gonna get their damage done. Duelist using the Navy, still trying to siege, is gonna be able to kill off some of these SCUs that are building TMD. And Cascade is losing mass at a rapid pace. He's losing RAS, boys. He's losing so much. The Ilona Oss is finished. Strategic launch detected. That's not too much of a problem. He has enough antis as long as he isn't stalling, which he very well might be. He's close to stalling, but he's not quite stalling. He has enough antis that can just get loaded, that it's not a problem. But the Ilona Oss is going to be a constant strain for him, and that, along with all of these nuke subs, may just be enough. As in comes the Ilona Oss shell, it's shot down immediately. All of those cruisers that were sieging earlier seem to have died. And now these harms are going to kill off a galaxy in record time. Oh man, this galaxy is really... yeah, it's just falling apart. Strategic launch detected. Yet another launch out of the YOLO. The YOLO now going to be under fire, but there's so many shields. The Scathis doesn't deal with concentrated shields well. Never mind. Scathis just going to fuck all the shields immediately. Okay then. Nuke harms to let Navy in. That feels like a waste, but might be what they have to do. No, I'm surprised Duelist hasn't tried ground firing it. Although we are over an hour into this match and Duelist has been really fighting the good fight here. He's been fighting so hard all match and dealing with so much. Probably a little bit brain fried. I'm sure he'll let us know in the comments. Maybe he also just doesn't know, but down comes a rain of Scathis fire that manages to kill off. Oh my, I wasn't expecting, I thought his shields would last a little bit longer, but it managed to kill him off. Or wait, was that, what was that? How did, okay, I really wish I was looking, but I expected him to build enough shields to deal with that Scathis. I'm gonna assume the Scathis killed Dice. And with that, Duelist lost all of his Yathsows. That really hurts. In fact, he lost all the Yathsows, all the battleships, everything really. All of these Plan B tactical, Plan B strategic missile submarines are getting ready to be done loading, but I'm not sure. It seems like Navy is just going to win it over here for Team 2, but Cascade still has a massive economy, still has a Scathis, but he's starting to have power struggles as all of his power generators seem to have just died. Oh no, he's managed to recover from the power struggles, at least for now. But what does he do? How does he deal with this? He's trying to kill off all the Novaxes, which are causing him endless pain. He's also turned off a lot of mass fabs that he built earlier, which is maybe why he's down to only 1.1 thousand mass a second. This huge brick force In any other game would be scary, but right here it just doesn't feel like it's going to be all that impactful. Such a crazy game coming out from these players. As more Scathis fire are going to continue to rain down over here on Kefka, but I think Kefka's just been dealing with it this entire time. In comes the next volley. Does manage to break the shields over one of the Novaxes, so one of these Novaxes is going to go down with one more volley. Cascade, is your brain okay? Cascade says yes. I mean, honestly, Cascade is... If anybody deserves to win this game right now, it is Cascade. He has definitely fought harder than everybody else in this game. He has definitely done so much this match, but it's just starting to feel like Team 2 with their teamwork is managing to make it happen. Although he is still making progress, he is still... he's killing off Novaxes that are really threatening him. He's gonna have to get air control again at some point, but Daddy Chad isn't really abusing his air control to get any damage done. The base of Kefka has been dismantled, but he's kind of just transitioned his base over here to the western side of the map. He's trying to get closer to his enemy. Duelist is rebuilding up. He's getting himself an air grid. Duelist has been rebuilding for such a long time. I'm just curious what he's doing. He's just been getting so much eco. He's at like 500 eco. He's built a megalith. Ever since that attack, it just felt like Duelist has existed and not much past that. Other than taking over the Navy up here, but that wasn't like him building up a Navy and winning. It's just taking an already winning situation and actually like applying the win to it. In come all the destroyers to kill Harms. I mean, if brute force isn't working, you're not using enough of it. Massive land force down here, mostly parashields, but still a huge land force versus another huge land force. As Cascade continues to build megaliths, continues to build bricks, continues to just he's trying to make land work right now. It doesn't seem as though air is going to be a huge priority for a little bit. He's lost so many air factories due to his power grids being focused. But it's really hard for him to attack on land, especially on this southern half of the map. Mainly because all of this Navy, all of these battleships, which are sitting on multiple ranks of veterancy, are just sitting here. And anytime he pushes forward, the battleships just give him a beating. 61,000 mass killed on this battleship. And now with the attack in the north, with all those harms going down, you gotta wonder, more harms are gonna go up, and they're gonna go up quickly. But how are they going to stop this Navy? There's going to be some torpedo bombers now coming out, but Daddy Chad is going to respond to those, I'm sure. And that's a bunch of nuke subs up here to the north. Did he lose one of his nuke subs? Seems as though he has 4. I don't know where the 4th one went, but he does have 4. I guess one of these is probably... Oh, yep, they're on top of each other. Each of these nuke subs has 1 nuke loaded. Maybe he's waiting until he has 8 nukes in total and is just going to launch them all at once. Just chain launch nukes out of all of those nuke subs. Although I don't think it'll work with how many anti-nukes are loaded. And Cascade's attack in the middle, yet again, is gonna collapse. It's the 2 megaliths will be able to push through, will be able to make something happen, but the brick count is just so low, it's just falling apart every time. This defense satellite over here has killed 43,000 mass casually. 71,000 mass now killed on this summit. As up here to the north, huge fights continue to ensue. The megalith's now going to be attacked from the air. But the battleships are enough. Like, just these battleships are just plowing damage into that megalith. Where is Cascade's comm? It's down here. It still has cloaking, so it's going to be very difficult to find. Strategic launch detected. Yeah, he waited for 2 rounds of nukes. Although, wait, are these 2 nukes like on top of each other? I don't know, it's gonna be weird to see. But in come all of the nukes. Oh! 2 anti-nukes had to be expended on that one. Oh, they got them all. All of the nukes was deadified. Yeah, they both fired. How many anti-nukes are left, though? I mean, even these would cover the Scathis. And the Scathis is now fired onto the Duelist. The Duelist is just, yet again, gonna get pummeled into the ground. You know, he's just, Cascade is playing whack-a-mole with the Duelist. The Duelist is his punching bag. It's beautiful to watch. It's so strange, because Cascade isn't, he's just like, there's no amount of territory is being lost by Cascade. He's managing to hold on to this territory, at least on the land front. On the naval front, different story. But on this land front, he's just holding out against Kefka, Duelist, everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, you can't send enough to stop him. Although these RAS SUs, you really don't want to lose them. That would be painful. And Cascade is just continuing to hold on and hope that this Scathis can maybe do enough damage. I mean, it's already up to it's nearing 1 million mass killed. 742,000 mass killed. It's killed, I guess it did kill the YOLO, so maybe it's counting that. Maybe it's counting killing the YOLO. But still, that's only like, it still killed like 500,000 mass after that. So this Scathis has been insanely effective. It's killed off the air grid yet again of Daddy Chad. I don't know who's gonna win anymore. It doesn't feel like either side is capable of winning. We could be here for another hour, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. Scathis done. Kefka finished a Scathis. Where? Oh, he built it over here. Okay, he's gonna try his own Scathis shenanigans. Or Scathnanigans. Although, if it's not underneath a shield, then what the hell is he doing with his life? You better put this under a shield. Okay, he's putting it underneath one shield. How fortuitous. Okay, he's gonna build more. As the Novax finally goes down! He's trading out, he finally kills off that Novax, and now he has to deal with the fact that, oh, that's a lot of strat bombers. Well, that's a lot of strat bombers coming in for the kill onto the Scathis. And they're gonna get it? Oh no, they kill off his Scathis right when the enemy Scathis starts firing down on him. Oh, that's heartbreak right there. And he's gonna build another Scathis very quickly. GG, says Cascade. Is he gonna control K? I wouldn't be surprised. That is a bit much to deal with. Most games, Escathis kills nearly 1 million mass worth of units, and you win, but not this one. Thank you all for watching. You've been beautiful. My name is Willow. Thank you to the patrons. I don't know why I said my name is Willow. That's my intro thing. Thank you all for watching. You've been beautiful. Thank you to the patrons and channel members who support me so much. Please consider liking and subscribing if you liked this video, and subscribing if you want to see more. This is Willow signing off.
But if I lay down and I play